Hello, all my beautiful people. It is time once again for another amazing episode of If You Give a Dad a Podcast. So this week I have with me Red James. He is a guy that I got to see wrestle at my very first indie wrestling show in Arkansas. And I have gotten to know him over that time period and finally got to get him on the show. He is a lot of fun to talk with. He had some really cool stories. He had some really funny stuff to tell us too. And I can't wait for you guys to hear this episode. He is the one that I mentioned the other day that is really entertaining on Facebook and things like that. So if you guys get a chance and you listen to this episode, go follow him online as well. And for those who are tuning in just to hear the Red James episode, welcome. I hope that you like what you hear. And I hope that you stick around and maybe find some other episodes that you like as well. So, if you guys are as excited as I am, then let's get this show on the road.
If You Give a Dad a Podcast. Hey, Dad.
Get back in your car! Go! Get out of here! You can't be here!
I wasn't about to call you Dad, so...
Seriously?
Just for the work rate, brother.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she said he looked like an old piece of leather.
Wow.
Supernatural, which is by far one of my favorite shows, and I will be talking a lot about Supernatural. I will be quoting Supernatural.
Bro.
I just remember because everybody, whenever they came to the ring, goes, ooh, 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 ooh.
What? Okay, before I get started, you ever had a design in mind and you wanted to put it on a shirt or a hat or a cup, but you just didn't know who to go to? Well, come on over to R&L Designs, where they make all of your custom needs come true. They make custom hats, they make custom shirts, they make custom mugs, they even do the tumblers and the glass mugs as well. They do key fobs even. They have great prices, and they have a reasonable turnaround time. If you need anything custom, these are the people that you need to hit up today. You can find them on Facebook, and that is at R&L Designs. You can also find them on Instagram at R&L Designs 19. They have a Facebook page. They have an Instagram page. They update it regularly with new products. You can also message them if you have something in mind. Hit them up today for all of your custom needs. Give them a like, give them a follow. All right, everybody. So today I have with me a guy that I have been talking to back and forth for the last couple of weeks. We've been working this out to where he can come on the show. I am very excited to have him on. This is a guy that I've got to see a lot of interaction on Facebook and social media and stuff, and I love the way that his social media presence is presented. It is very funny. It is very entertaining. He is a wrestler out of Oklahoma area, and that is Red James. Man, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself, Jared?
Doing good. Just, getting ready for the night, Got everybody settled down in the house, and now it's time to do my podcast.
There you go, man. There you go.
So, yeah, how long have you actually been in wrestling now?
Been in wrestling. I started training last April.
Okay.
So, a little over a year.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and where was it exactly that where did you go to wrestling school at?
I started wrestling school training with Nathan Estrada and Skylar Slice out of 56th and Garnett in Tulsa.
Okay.
We were wrestling out of we were training out of a warehouse, and man, it was hot. It was hot. It was fallout hot. So, but they have a great new training facility in downtown Tulsa, up of Sixth and Utica now. Wonderful place, but it's still hot. They love to turn the heaters on for some reason.
It's kind of like hot yoga or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. Masculeta Purpura is their head trainer,
Okay.
and for core wrestling. And I don't understand it. I'm older than them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 34 years old, and they're in their 20s, and I'm about to pass out. I'm like, man, I've been in construction all my life, and you guys are about like, I've had heat strokes. I'm not about this life. So
Right.
it's been a battle. It's been a battle.
Oh, so you're actually the same age as me.
Oh, there you go. 1987?
88.
There we go. Oh, yeah. I was born in December, so I can technically be called 88.
There you go.
I don't remember 87.
All right. So one thing that I've noticed is you've actually been staying pretty busy here lately when it comes to the different places that you're going in wrestling and everything. I've seen the stuff for core wrestling, and I know that you told me about a few other places that you were maybe trying to start going to as well.
Yeah. I love getting out and seeing new shows. I love getting out and meeting new people.
Mm-hmm.
And Nathan Estrada and Skylar Slice were big promoters of that. So I always branch out and try to train with somebody new and try to go somewhere else. I mean, I'm a worker. I'm a construction worker. I enjoy building things and taking things down. So anytime that they need help setting up a ring somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to do that. And then if you bring your gear and a suit and you help set up the ring, you might be ringing a bell or you might be working it. So, I mean, yeah, if I can branch out, I mean, this is a dream of mine, and branching out and doing what I want to do for fun
Right.
is awesome. So you just get hit in the face a lot.
Yeah, you definitely do that. So I know after just hearing how old you are, your wrestling story was probably pretty similar to most people that we've had on here and everything. You probably grew up with the Attitude Era like I did, correct?
Yeah, but I grew up in a very southern wrestling house. So I didn't get to watch WWF back then. I didn't get to watch the Attitude Era, but I was only allowed to watch whatever Ric Flair was on. That was the rule. I mean, that was the rule.
Oh.
So if Ric Flair was not on WCW because of contract or whatever, we weren't watching wrestling.
Oh, wow.
So I watched I grew up on Jim Crockett Promotion and WCW. It wasn't until later in life that I watched the Attitude Era. I mean, as an adult, I went back and watched it because, yeah, it was heavily influenced in our school,
Mm-hmm.
but I was over there wearing the Sting shirt. I wasn't wearing the Stone Cold shirt.
Well, and I remember the old Sting. It's actually still one of my favorites. Is the platinum blonde hair flat top Sting. I loved that look, and I loved just that whole gimmick that he had going on there.
Oh yeah, man, definitely fan favorite for everybody. 95 Sting.
Mm-hmm.
I remember very vividly. 96, he started going with the darker face paint, started growing his hair out. 97, he was all crow. So I really enjoyed it. I mean, I popped whenever he joined the Wolfpack and he got on that microphone and woo, boy, man, that was something. Like, didn't talk for what, a year and a half, 2 years?
It's something like that. It was a long time.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. And then I followed him into TNA.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. He was back on the microphone regularly. He was kind of at the late WCW, and he was bringing back the colors.
Yeah.
He wasn't just black and white. He had the robes, and then he did the Joker Sting, and he added some color to that. And so, yeah, I really got into whenever he went to TNA and started bringing back some color.
And that whole thing was interesting whenever he did change it with the Joker Sting and everything like that. I loved how he was able to morph that character into something that was a little bit more relevant to that time. But in the end,
Yeah.
he was able to bring back that same character that he had before too, and it still works.
Yeah, yeah. He still worked, man. That was awesome. Yeah, I love that. I love that. I mean, I know how much people don't really they don't talk great about the Hogan era of
Hmm.
TNA, but
Hmm.
I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I enjoyed it.
I actually think that whenever I started watching it every week was probably around 2009. And I think that's when Hogan came in, was either 2008 or 2009. And
Yeah.
I thought it was some good storylines, especially when they had Abyss coming out and said they're coming. And I was like, wondering who's coming. That whole storyline that they had going on there was just so cool to me. It kept me coming back every week to see what Abyss was going to do and say next, leading up to when Jeff Hardy did the heel turn and all that stuff. I think it was at Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah.
it's good
I
stuff.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was also right around. That's also good for me because that's right around the time that I had my son. So I had him. Well, he was born in 2011. So he, the first night that he was born, his mom was sleeping, and I laid there with him and watched TNA.
Right. My son, I had my son right outside high school, right during high school. And
Okay.
Growing up, my son, 4 years old, that's how we bonded. Was I found wrestling, and Ryback was right then. Let's see,
Hmm.
so 06, 07, 08, 09, probably
Somewhere in there.
2010.
Yeah.
Right around in there, Ryback and Brock Lesnar, Triple H. We were watching that just for something to bond over.
Right.
And my daughter was born in 2012, so
Okay.
and she thinks wrestling is lame. She thinks it's the lamest thing ever. And I drag her to every show, every town.
And she's like, "Oh, Dad, please don't."
Yeah. I'm like, what do you want to do tonight? I just want to stay at home and play video games. It's like, well, we got a Game Boy. That Game Boy sucks. It's literally the old 8-bit Game Boy,
Yeah.
And I just throw batteries in it and I give it to her. She doesn't even play. She just gets on the cell phone.
Oh,
It's
that's
there.
funny. Well, see, it's the exact opposite with my son, and my daughter's starting to be this way too. But it's more him. I still have my original Game Boy from whenever I was in high school. It's
Yeah.
the old Game Boy Color. It's purple, and he loves it. He thinks it's the coolest thing ever. He keeps hinting that he wants me to give it to him, but I'm like, you can play it, but I've had this for a long time, so I'll share it with you, kind of deal. But he likes it, and he plays some of the old Pokemon games on there.
Oh, word. My son's got the Game Boy Advance, and he's got all the Pokemon Game Boy for that.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
one thing I never could get into. I couldn't even get into it with my son. I tried.
yeah,
I tried. It was popular when I was in school. It
right.
was popular when my son's in school. And I enjoy sports cards. I
Okay,
collected baseball cards.
yeah.
I even collected the entire series of like 1998 WCW cards.
I remember those.
They came with the stickers and everything. I got a Chris Jericho when he's holding the television championship.
Oh, cool.
I got a Booker T, and he's holding the television championship also.
Wow, man, those gonna be worth some money.
God, I don't know. They're actually in an Army Foot Locker with one of those old school big heavy televisions on.
Oh
It's
no.
sitting on top of it. So it's like it's going to take two people to get to them if they want to get to them.
Right? It's almost like it's sealed in a one of those time capsules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, man.
Yeah. So, who would you say are some of your major influences for the character that you've created with the Red James character?
Oh, major influences. After watching footage, I
Mhm.
would say my mannerisms are totally Scott Hall influenced.
Okay.
Whenever I just stick my hands in front of my face, ooh, Something just to tick people off.
Uh-huh.
I would say that wrestling wise, I would go towards. Man, it's wrestling wise. I picked up White Noise lately as a finisher, so I would say Sheamus,
Okay.
the brawling style of Sheamus, but I am nowhere near that. I'm not even gonna lie, but so the wrestling style would be that. I love to do the hitting the chest from over the top.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, but the character, oh man, I don't. The mannerisms, Scott Hall, but
Yeah.
I really don't know about who do you think that it portrays more of?
I've seen you live one time, and you actually weren't in a match the one time that I saw you. You were, it was in Bentonville whenever you were at the Benton County Fairgrounds in March, I believe it was.
I remember.
Yeah, and you were out there doing the villain's gimmick with Tim Rockwell and I think Big Man Thrash.
Yeah, Big Man Thrash.
And
I remember that show. I remember that show because of the seminar beforehand.
Uh-huh.
And it was Bull Schmidt's seminar.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, all right, we're going to have face and heel, good guy, bad guy. He goes, Red, we want you to be a good guy, a face. And I tried, and he goes, stop this. I was like, what? He goes, you absolutely suck at being a good guy. Like, I want to boo you for trying to be nice.
Yeah.
He's like, there is nothing about you that's nice. I was like, probably not. He's like, okay, work heel. He's like, whoever tells you to work face, tell him to shut up. I was like, okay, I can do that. And then Coco. I think I grabbed a hold of Coco's foot that show. He stomped me right in the back of the head.
Uh-huh.
We grabbed some chairs. There was a cake. Somebody got covered in cake.
Yeah,
it was all over my boots.
It was Chief. I have a really hard time pronouncing.
Got covered in cake.
Yep.
There was
because it was
Coco,
his birthday.
Coke. It doesn't matter where I'm at in the South. I will run into Coco and we'll just flip each other off. like the old cowboy versus Indians thing. That's what we got going on. I'm pretty sure he's a nice guy, but we're all the time at odds with each other. So I really wouldn't know.
Well, I haven't had him on the show, but I do plan on having him on in the future, and so I'll have to get his side of this too.
I still got a shoe.
Do you?
Yeah, we jumped him at a WFC show, and I stole his shoe. It's in my bedroom.
Oh my goodness!
I threw it, and then I went and picked it up, and I said, "I'm keeping this." And he's like, "What?" I said, "I'm keeping it. It's my shoe now." I took off with it.
Oh my goodness! So, do you get a lot of? So, with your social media and stuff, I know that you use it to promote, and you are really good at doing that. I'm pretty sure you have a list of things that you put on your posts. And do you get a lot of heat on some of the things that you post on there?
Oh yeah, my son was just talking to me about this, and I had to describe what heat was. I was like, it's just people that hate me. And he's like, so what's the most heat you've gotten? I said, all right, so the two posts that I can really stand out to me is like I just said, I don't understand Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I hate Pokemon one day. and dude, people just jumped out of the woodwork. Tommy Dean, okay?
Uh-huh.
Tommy Dean, great wrestler.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen him live. Great wrestler, underrated, but he loves everything that I don't like.
Okay.
And I'm like, so he loves anime. He loves Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
And every time I see him, I'm like, dude, you would be so much greater if you would just trash this Dragon Ball Z stuff.
Oh no!
Like, dude, you're about to get chopped. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, I don't. So I hate anime / Pokemon has thrown some heat, and then I said I hate people who collect championship replicas.
Okay.
Dude, like I didn't realize that many people had championship replicas. There was even a guy that I really enjoy. Like I was friends with, and I haven't seen him in a while. And it could probably be because of this. But his wife was having a birthday party. He invited me over. We went to his birthday party. He invited me into his TV room, and he opened up this cabinet, and he had a great display. But on there was like 8 championship replicas. I was like, dude, I gotta hate you now. He goes, oh, I know. I was like, why did you do that? I could have went my life without knowing this, Steven. He's like, oh, I know, but I just want you to know why you hate me now. I was like, okay, all right, I hate you, brother. Sorry.
Oh, that's great.
We finished out the party. And like I haven't seen him. I really haven't seen Steven since then.
Yep.
Him and his wife are wonderful people, but it's just like I gotta hate you now. Sorry, man.
Yeah, I mean it's your code, right?
It's my code. If I say I hate something, I'm gonna stick to it, man. So yeah, so anime and championship replicas have drawn so much heat.
That is funny. I know that I've seen quite a few of those where you've said different things that you've hated on there, and I kind of try to follow some of them to see what kind of reactions you get for that, because some of them are pretty funny.
Oh yeah, they're pretty good. I'm banned for 30 days right now. Somebody said that they were. I get to come back onto Facebook October 12th, so I'm almost to the end of it. But somebody was like, "Oh, what about getting back into wrestling?" I said, "Don't." They were like, "Why?" I said, "You're just gonna get your ass whooped. That's about it." And that was. I would have been banned since. I didn't even say I was gonna whoop their ass.
Wow.
And then last night I found out that a friend of mine just like gets bored and reports some of my comments. Anyways, I was like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Dude, like." I promote. That's how I sell merchandise. That's how I promote. And you're just out there just slinging out reports. It's like, yeah.
Oh,
you jerk.
That's like the biggest troll move that you could ever have.
Oh, dude, yeah. That's it. I know. I'm getting reported every time. I'm probably gonna have a new Facebook by the end of the year.
You know that if you think about it, though, that's a really good heel move, and you should try doing that to somebody.
Oh, report? Nah, man. Can't report. That's like the one troll move I don't do.
Is reporting people. Yeah. Snitches get stitches.
Yeah, I'll see them. I'll call them out. And here's another thing about my Facebook post, okay? I hardly get any likes, any shares, but I get comments. But whenever I see somebody and they're like, dude, did you really have to say yada, 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 yada? Or did you really have to do this? I was like, why didn't you like or share or comment? Like, come on. Like, a lot of people see my stuff, but they're just like, nope, not playing. I know what it is. It's bait. It's bait. You triggered me. It's bait.
Yeah. Oh, I remember there was one post. I don't remember who put it out there, but they asked a question, and you just started bombarding it with like different. Like they said, like ask me a question, and you started just replying one right after another, and it got to the point where they actually took the post down.
Oh, I know who it is. I know this post.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to mention the wrestler. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to say the wrestler's name.
Yeah.
But they said make me pick one. I said okay, and I just started picking people like brothers and sisters, tag teams.
Yeah.
Like friends. I just started putting them back to back to back to back. He messaged me. He's like, you are an effing jerk. Like, I had to take the post down. I was like, man, I'm sorry. I was like, don't put it out there like that. He's like, I didn't think like somebody was gonna do this. Like, I was just talking like Hogan or The Rock.
Yeah.
Make me pick between that, and you're like making me pick between friends. No, you're creating problems. We're like,
well, I remember one of the ones you put on there was like toxic masculinity, and you had them pitted against each other. It was the Johnnies and all that. So, and I think I commented on there and I said that you were trying to stir the pot or something. But yeah, I remember that. Yeah. It was a lot of fun, and but I mean, it was all in good fun, I think. So I was enjoying it. I wanted to see what would happen.
Yeah, he just removed the post.
That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, and what was funny is like we used to talk a lot before then. We
Uh-huh.
really did. And ever since then, it's a hit and miss. But he's still a really good guy. I'm not gonna lie about that. I enjoy
Oh
him.
yeah, he is.
But
He's a great guy.
Speaking of toxic masculinity, let me tell you about these suckers.
All right.
Like, yeah, man, I've never met two guys total opposite
Yeah.
that are the best tag team in independent wrestling that I know of today.
Yeah.
And like toxic, I love those guys, but they dodge me like no other.
Do they?
Yeah, I can comment on something,
Uh-huh.
talk about something, nothing. They'll see that they viewed it, nothing. Yeah, they don't want to get wrapped up with me or my mess. They're good people though. Great
They
people.
are. Yeah, I've actually had them on the show, and I was supposed to.
Yeah.
I was supposed to have them back on last week or something like that.
Talk about comic books, right?
Yeah, but something came up and they weren't able to make it and everything, so we're gonna have to get that rescheduled. But those are some really cool guys. They're good guys.
Yeah, we've been out to dinner a few times after shows together, and we got kicked. No, we didn't get kicked out. We almost got kicked out of an Applebee's, but
I can imagine how that worked.
Yeah, boy, like there's a story that I can't say on recording.
Okay.
And yeah, whatever you see somebody comment like Red James and the Johnnies and Chris Birch, the referee Chris Birch. Oh yeah, it was a fun time, and it's just like, oh my god.
That sounds like something I would have liked to have been there to see.
Oh, dude, it was a mess. It was a mess.
So one thing that I know from talking to you just over Facebook and everything is you're somebody who constantly is a student of wrestling, and you're constantly watching product and stuff like that. And that is, to me, is something that's very important that you continue to do. And I like how you said that you're constantly doing something when it comes to wrestling.
I love wrestling. I love watching wrestling. I don't I'm not picky about wrestling.
Yeah.
Everything in wrestling is on the card for a reason.
Correct.
Comedy style, new style, old school, new school. It's all there for a reason to me. And, if you're going to be the opening act, you're setting the tone for the show.
Yes.
If you're the spot after intermission, but television doesn't really have intermission. So it's like the spot right after that second hour starts. That's just the first match. You got to bring it.
Right.
So I love wrestling. That's it. Like, wrestling in general hardcore death matches. I used to get squeamish watching some death matches, but Sam Stackhouse has helped me with that. Watching so much GCW with that guy.
Yeah.
I love wrestling. That's it. So I'm always watching it. Bob Evans put out a great list, and he was just saying 15 hours a month of stuff 15 years old, older, and then 15 hours a month of new stuff, current product. So that way, and even in your schools, your wrestling schools, they tell you to watch the product, be current on what's hip,
Right.
And so you watch the product for that to see what's going on, and somebody might invent a move or do something that can influence you. I said white noise. I always watched Sheamus's matches, but Gunther versus Sheamus at Clash of the Castle. Oh my God! I've watched that thing 15 times.
Yeah,
and I just love how hard they're hitting each other. I just love the physicality of it. And so always, and then right then, right then is whenever I was like, the white noise is my finishing move. And so I started working on it. I'm still working on it. So you don't know where you're going to be influenced by or what's going to give you something.
Right.
Or you'll see somebody new like a Jordan Oliver or a Nick Wayne that you just can't get enough of. And so, yeah, love it.
Going back to one of the things that you said, that match between Sheamus and Gunther, however you say it, that is the brutality of that and how much they put into that, and the way that the crowd reacted afterwards tells you everything you need to know about that match. It was very heartfelt, and you could feel that match watching it. And I love whenever you can find something like that caliber in wrestling, because you can tell it meant something.
Yeah, it meant something to Gunther, and it meant something to Sheamus. Like as soon as they started throwing those punches, it meant every one of those punches meant something. And I'm gassed after hitting somebody 5 times. I don't know how they did it. Jeez.
Man, yeah, I get gassed just watching them. So,
that ain't no joke.
So I'd like to give a quick shout out to my newest sponsor for the show, Manscaped. If you're anything like me and you get a little bit nervous when it comes to manscaping or trimming things on your body because you're scared that you might nick something or cut something off, then this is the product for you. I know from experience that this works. They have the skin safe technology on the Lawnmower 4.0, and I don't have to worry about having that problem anymore of hurting myself when I'm trying to manscape. So they have that along with many other products. I also have the Weed Whacker, which is good for getting the hair out of your ears and hair out of your nose. It's just great products. They work really well. The Lawnmower 4.0 is actually waterproof, so if you would prefer to use that in the shower, you can. It works amazing. If you guys want to, you can go to Manscaped and get 20% off plus free shipping if you use the promo code DADPOD20 at manscaped.com. Once again, like I said, go out, get these products. They actually work. I use them, and they work amazing. Go to manscaped.com and use the promo code DADPOD20. The death matches. That is something I'm actually new to. I haven't really watched too many of those, and I'm the same way. It's because of Sam Stackhouse is the reason why I have watched a few, and I'm still a little bit at the squeamish part, I guess you could say, for me, especially when it comes to like the. I found out that those were kebabs that were sticking out of his head. Found that out last week. Yeah. So, I'm still trying to get past the whole thing. Like, I asked him, how do you prepare for something like that when you know that it's going to be something that hellacious on your body? How do you prepare for that? Do you just, grin and bear it, or is there like a process that you would go through? For me, I would think that it would be, something I would have to mentally prepare for it.
Right. The things that I've been hit with, they're no kebabs, they're no light tubes. The things that I've been hit with, and people I've been hit by, Brawler Morrison is probably one of the snuggest wrestlers in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know him, or he is one of the snuggest workers that there are. And so whenever you hear people like Justin Lee say in training, and he was another one of my trainers, because of Nathan Estrada and Skylar Slice introduced me to Rob Cabela, and he introduced me to Justin Lee. And Justin Lee's like standing there telling you about the physicality, or telling me and the other class about the physicality of professional wrestling. And he's like, Brawler Morrison. And one of my first matches, my second match was against Brawler Morrison. And when you hit that curtain and your opponent is there telling you, because I talk a lot of smack on social media. And so when the person in the curtain, like you're waiting behind the curtain and you look over at them and they go, "You better hit me hard because I'm about to beat the shit out of you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. So then you hit the curtain and then you guys start fighting. And I haven't had a match yet that somebody hasn't said that they're just going to beat the shit out of me. Every time that I've had a match, somebody has hit me. You better hit me hard or I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And you're like, what have I done? Like, what have I, like, you can't shut up. It's like, okay, I get it. All right, now I got to eat my words. All right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been put through a table. I've been hit with chairs. But to me, I panic. I get nervous about it beforehand. And then during the match, it's like, okay, this is a possibility. And if it happens, it happens.
Right.
And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And so I think that might be for a lot of people. I don't think there's much, like, you know how well your pain threshold is.
Right.
And so I got my teeth kicked out training one night. It's the reason why I've got my teeth missing now. I got to go get them. I got to go get my partial fix. But I'm missing my front 3 or 4 teeth right now. And I was training, and Becky, the wrestler, me and her, she was throwing haymakers, and then she kicked me in the mouth. And, like, I already had porcelain veneers.
Yeah.
And so she just broke the post. That was it. So that happened on a Thursday. Tuesday, I had them removed. And Saturday, I was getting punched in the face harder than I've ever been punched by a grown man, Ricky Wingrave. And so you know your pain threshold, like what you can do. So if Sam Stackhouse is taking skewers to the face, you know, he knows his pain threshold.
Right.
And like a 90-pound girl just kicked my teeth out. So,
wow. Man, that's something.
Right? That's something.
Those women in wrestling, though, they get pretty tough, though.
They do. I'm not gonna lie. Like Becky and Luna, they are some of the hardest hitters that I have like trained with. Skylar Slice, by the way, she ain't pulling back. She rocked my stuff more than once. Continues to do so. So I think I just have a punchable face.
You're not the first person to say that on this show. So one of your trainers actually came on this show and said the exact same thing. And Justin Lee, he had a punchable face. So
so that was the same that show that you brought up, that Arkansas show. Wasn't that the show that he broke his nose?
It was. Yeah, that was the one where he came off the top rope, and I don't even know. He told me what happened exactly, but I can't remember what he said it was. But I think he hit the guy in the shoulder and with his nose, and it didn't end well.
It didn't. And I remember he came to the back, and he's falling down the steps because it was a stage. He went up the stage.
Yeah.
He went across the stage, I should say, and then downward was the locker room, and he's going down the steps, and he's hanging onto the steps. His eyes are going black. His nose is busted and bleeding.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I think I broke my nose." And somebody yelled out, "But hey, you finished the match." And everybody just popped off that. They were like, "What?"
Yeah.
At least you finished the match, kid.
Well, not
he's
only
like barely hanging onto the stairs, and he's about to fall over.
Well, not only did he finish the match, but he went that next weekend and did that appearance at the Arkansas or Northwest Arkansas Comic-Con with him. And I remember,
with the Johnnies.
Yeah, with the Johnnies, and he was wearing a Ultimate Warrior mask to kind of cover it up.
Yeah.
When he was there. So yeah, but it's funny. I told this at the end of the episode that dropped this morning. My wife is going to her first wrestling show with me this coming weekend. We're going to there's a Crown Championship Wrestling show. It's a free show in West Fork. And she's going to go for her first time. I've brought both my kids to one. And the one thing she asked me, she said, "Is the guy that broke his nose going to be there?" So I was like, yeah, he's actually the main event. So you'll get to see him. And I sent him a message and told him that she said that. And I think he got a kick out of it.
Justin Lee may not be everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, in wrestling, I have watched that man do some amazing things for people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And you'll never hear me talk bad about that man. I have witnessed some things 3 or 4 different times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he may not be everybody's cup of tea, but that man is a stand-up man. So if your wife wants to meet him, I'm pretty sure he'll take a picture. I mean, don't get me wrong. He might hear this and turn heel. I doubt it, but he is still one of the most wonderful people I have ever met in wrestling, and I defend that. Like, some people might have horror stories about it. Mm-hmm. I don't believe it because I've watched him do some amazing things.
Yeah, and I'm actually right there with you. I'm I most of the time sound like a fanboy when it comes to Justin Lee on my podcast, because I had just started doing this. I had had a few episodes under my belt, and I was extremely nervous, and he came on my show, and he put me at ease with the way that he talked and everything, and he's one of my favorite guests that I've had on this show. Then I met him in person again, so I've met him twice now, because I went to I saw him at the Northwest Arkansas Comic-Con. I didn't meet him when we were at the other show, obviously, because he was, injured by the time the show was ended.
Yeah.
And then I saw him at the Siloam Springs show not too long after that, and he recognized me because he had already been on the show and all that stuff. And I got to talk to him. He got to meet my daughter, and that was her first show. So now I have a fan, one of those hand fans on my wall, and it says, "I'm a Broken Arrow Bad Boy Justin Lee fan," on there. So in this house, we're pretty big Justin Lee fans.
Oh, right on. He's a good guy.
He is. He's
pretty good guy.
Well, now that we've done our Justin Boy fan out here and everything,
right. Man, I will say, man, he's pretty. He is pretty. That is a face I don't want to punch. Like, you might say he's got a punch in the neck, but he is so pretty. His hair's never out of place. His teeth are always as white as snow. Like, man, he's pretty. All right, now moving on.
All right. I got to make sure that part is left into the show. That way he can hear it. Yeah.
Tag him.
I will tag him in it. I will make I've tried doing this a few times with the show. It didn't really work too well, but I tried to take little snippets from the show and make little small videos with a spinning logo, and to kind of give people a taste of the show. Maybe I'll try that again with this little number here.
Yeah. Do it.
What are some of your, let's go with this, we're going to say your dream match and your dream opponents?
Oh, wow. Man, I had a wrestling bucket list, and I'm getting it knocked off now.
Oh.
I'm a big believer, if you put it out there in the world, it'll happen.
Yep.
And I put my dream bucket list things out there. One of them was headline a show. I headlined a show. I didn't get a full match, but I'm going to count it as a match. But I got to brawl in a cage September.
Oh.
I broke Drake Gallows' his ankle. I broke his ankle with a steel chair.
Oh, yeah.
I jumped off the cage, landed on it. Great time. And then I repeatedly kept on stomping on it over and over and over. But that's another one. So I can mark off a cage match off my deal. I want a death match.
Okay.
I do. I'm not for sure if I'm going to be a death match wrestler. I don't know. But I would love light tubes, doors. I would love all those kind of matches. I would love that physicality. Dream matches, dream opponents. In Oklahoma City, man, I'm getting a lot of my indie dream matches in Oklahoma City from the Oklahoma wrestling.
Okay.
And I got to wrestle in a tag match. I got to wrestle Merck and Nathan Estrada in a tag team match, and I got kicked so hard by Merck
Mm-hmm.
that my soul came out, looked at me, and said, "Man, that hurts." And my soul had teeth, by the way. Like, he looked at me, and he had a full set of teeth. And I looked at him, and I was like, "Man, how'd you get your teeth?" And then I took a deep breath, and he went back inside me, and we had to continue the match. But like, but that actually happened. But I got to my very first match was against Sam Stackhouse. I cheated, but I won. And I'll anything to get the job done. That's what the foreman says.
That's right.
That's what I do. Anything to get the job done. So Sam Stackhouse, wonderful human being. Another one of those people that you'll never hear me talk bad about. And I was started to listen to his podcast while I was killing time waiting on you.
Mm-hmm.
That one that just dropped today, didn't it?
Yes, it dropped this morning.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I was listening to it. But dream opponents. I'm getting one of my dream opponents, and let me tell you about this person.
All right.
This person hogs up the roster so much. He continually puts himself on his own shows, and always wrestling the champion of his shows. He's always putting himself on his flyers, always. And I hope in November I get the chance to wrestle this guy, and I am just going to waylay him as hard as I can with everything I got. But Blade, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He runs XWE up in Siloam Springs, Kansas. I can't remember the town, but he runs XWE, and he was the first UWO champion. And this dude runs his mouth about me. I don't even know this guy, but he runs his mouth about me for some reason. But he's another one of those old heads that is constantly clogging up the roster and who can barely move and is never giving anybody else a shot because he's back there politicking, saying, "Well, I've been in this for 20 years. I deserve this." No, you don't deserve jack. You deserve to get your ass kicked, and that's what I'm going to do. So if you go on to UWO, I guess they're going to hold a vote for November for Cranberry Clash for the Thanksgiving show. Vote for me to have a hardcore match against this guy so I can hit him upside the head with a chair.
All right. You said that's on UWO, that they're going to have that,
Unified
that vote?
Wrestling Oklahoma.
All right.
So that would be a dream match. So I could put another old guy out to pasture.
There you go.
I would love. Do you know Stryker?
I know. I think so. Yes.
Okay, that's a guy I would love to come out of retirement so I could whoop his ass too. Another one of those guys that stayed on the card way too long.
Mm-hmm.
Just the same thing as Blade. Let him come back. I don't know. Like, I hope he stays gone. I hope this is like the ninth retirement that finally does it for him. But
Yeah.
glad he's gone. But hey, whatever.
Whatever.
I absolutely love his son, Maddox Jones. Love his son. I'm glad he put his dad out to pasture and got rid of that. But dream opponents. I want to be on the level of Tommy Dean.
Okay.
I want to be on the level of Tommy Dean so I could wrestle Tommy Dean. And he's going into more of a hardcore style also, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Dmitry Alexandrov is another dream opponent. I would love to be on their level. I just don't want to get out there and because they are very fast-paced. And I would have to way slow it down. But I would love to rip that Dragon Ball Z off of Tommy Dean's chest. Love to rip it off and just stomp all over it and whoop his ass. But that's another dream opponent. Dimitri, I don't know that well. I just know that he's a great wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Great wrestler.
So you want to take him down a notch then?
I don't think I want to take him down a notch. I just don't know him. I don't know.
You don't
him.
know him.
No. I don't know him, so I can't really. A lot of people that I don't know that well, I don't give my opinion on. I really
Okay.
don't.
Yeah.
And if I love them, I love them. But if there's something I don't like about them, hey man, I'm 34 years old. I've taken some ass whoopings, so I'm not afraid to take another one just to get my fist in your mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But if I were to ever make it, I have no idea really.
hmm
I mean, I'm living my dream right now. Last
Yeah.
weekend, this is a true story. Last weekend, I drove to a show. My wife's a referee. She got booked on the show to referee, and she was she was booked for World Class Revolution.
hmm
And we drive 3 hours to get there. I'm there as a helper, seeing if I can do whatever. We shake everyone's hands, make our introductions, and I go to the bathroom. We drove 3 hours. I'm taking a poop, and the booker comes in and is like, "Hey, hey, Red, did you bring your gear?" I said, "Always." "You want to wrestle tonight?" I said, "Always." He goes, "Great, you're wrestling me." And he walks out, and I'm still on the toilet. And I'm like, did I just get booked on the and so I mean, I'm living the dream. I got to wrestle on World Class Revolution.
Uh-huh.
I was on the same card. I'm not saying I was on the same level at all. I was on the same card as Sam Stackhouse, as Drake Gallows, as Colt Kilbane, Mr. Nasty. I was on the same card as CYN's Leo Fox. He's on NWA now. His Tino Valentino. I was on the same card as him. Ooh, yeah, I love that man. I love that. I love that gimmick.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Angelina Love
Uh-huh.
from TNA, ROH. She was on the card. I was on the same card as her. I was on the same card as Lance Archer and New Japan, and AEW Lance Archer. So I am literally living my dream.
Yeah.
And so when you say dream opponents, it's like I'm not on the level of these people, but I'm showing up and getting kicked in the face like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. And let's go. That's it. Let's show up to the town, put the ring up, take it down, bring us. Jason Jones told me this. Jason Jones and Nathan Estrada told me this. Show up early, help set up, bring a suit.
Yep.
You never know what you might be doing.
Yep.
So after you get done doing the construction work, put the suit on. And if they want you to wrestle, you have your gear.
Right.
Bring your gear in a suit and always do whatever's needed. And that advice is working. I mean, I got booked whenever I was taking a poop.
Yeah, it doesn't get any. I mean, what else could you? I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, that's really awesome.
Right. And I texted Nathan that as soon as it happened. He's like, "Dude, you're never gonna forget that. You're never gonna forget it at all."
that is wow.
My first goal in wrestling was to just have one match.
Yeah.
Just have one match. And I managed, I did ring announcing, I've been ring crew, I've been production, and now I'm wrestling 2 to 3 times a weekend now. I'm still not on Sam Stackhouse's level, and he loves to rub it in like, "Hey man, where you going this weekend?" I'm like, "Yeah, just down the road. What about you?" "Oh, Brent Lauderdale called. I got to go to New York." Good for him, though. Good for him.
Yeah.
He's a friend. I love that dude.
He's a good guy. So I know you said your wife is a referee and everything. I actually follow her online as well, and I do plan on having her come on the show here in the future. How is it? Do y'all try to book shows together, or how does that actually work?
Okay. So I'm a very selfish person. Okay.
All right.
So and so if I don't have anything booked,
Uh-huh.
I will go with her
Uh-huh.
and with the same mentality. So show up with a suit,
Right.
wrestling gear, and hopefully make a good impression.
Right.
But I started wrestling. I got to training before she did,
Okay.
and she started training to be a referee around the time that I made I had my first match,
Oh, all right.
and so she was refereeing around then, and she has taken off,
Mm-hmm.
and great for her. I am not a jealous person at all. I'm glad that she's doing something. Like, I got to introduce her to wrestling,
Yeah.
and she can tell you more about it.
Right.
But I am so happy for her. And no, we don't. Like, she went to Texoma Pro
Mm-hmm.
and to referee, and so I tagged along. I went down for the D'Lo seminar, and oh my God, D'Lo Brown. Like, if anybody has a chance to go to a D'Lo Brown seminar,
Uh-huh.
do it. Do it, to listen to this man's insight. He was head of talent relations for Impact.
I did
So
not
you
know
can't,
that.
like, yeah, he was.
Wow.
And so he quit that job like a week before the seminar.
Oh, okay.
And but and he explained, he dumbed everything down, because I'm not that smart of a guy. He dumbed everything down that I that way I could understand it.
Mhm.
And his knowledge of professional wrestling is outrageous. But it to go to Texoma Pro and witness Shane Taylor just melee somebody, and literally look at Shane Taylor and be like, "Hey, my neighbor Sam Stackhouse wants to know why you're dodging him." And he's like, "He's your neighbor?" I was like, "Well, he lives right down the road, but yeah." He's like, I'm telling him I'm not that hard to find. So I get right back on the phone. I'm like, "Hey, Shane Taylor says he's not that hard to find. Get your ass up here." He's like, "Why are you starting, Red?" So, yeah, being a troll on the internet's not like a far-fetched thing for my real life. I do that anyways.
Oh, that's
But
great.
but my wife, there's doors that I've helped open for her, and
Mhm.
there's doors she has helped open for me.
Yeah.
And so it's not that we're trying to book the same things yet.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of couples do that. They book strong like that, and so congratulations to them for getting paid to do this.
Right.
And but we're not there yet. I mean, we're both under a year.
Mm-hmm.
Me, as wrestling, I want to say June was my first match. So yeah, June or July was my first match, and
Oh,
in
wow.
September I've only had 13 matches. So
Well, I mean, you've got to start somewhere, though, right?
oh yeah, everybody's got to start somewhere. Yeah.
And it sounds like
And-
you're doing awesome.
oh, I appreciate it. I don't think I am. I don't think I'm doing awesome. Like, I just don't want to have to go to my job every day. Yeah.
So, if people want to follow you online so they can be a part of this social media trolling that you do, and they can keep in contact with you and maybe even argue that Dragon Ball Z doesn't suck, how can they do that?
Well, for one, they're not going to win that argument, because I can say Dragon Ball Z sucks as many times as I want. Championship replicas are stupid. I can say that as much as I want. But I am on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snap. I don't do Snapchat anymore.
Mhm.
TikTok, Joshua Red James, or just Red James on most of it.
Okay.
Pro Wrestling Tees Store, Red James. Instagram's Red James. Facebook's Red James. I don't have a fan page on Instagram, on Facebook. I just have a profile. I'll let you friend me. and
Okay.
you'll probably unfollow me pretty fast.
Never, man. Never. I love seeing it.
Not you, but I mean somebody. A lot of people. I know a lot of people unfollow me. So
You're on Twitter too, aren't you?
I'm on Twitter also. I need to get better on Twitter. It's Red James on Twitter, Red James on Instagram, Red James on Facebook. It's me in a cowboy hat when I had all my teeth.
All right.
So, yes, sir, that is me.
Well, do you have anything that's coming up that maybe you want to? I want to give you the opportunity to kind of announce maybe where you're going to be at or some things that's going on with you.
Yes. Let me. I have a lot of things coming up here pretty soon. Well,
All right.
until they fire me, one or the other. On October 7th, I will be in Sand Springs, Oklahoma for Core Professional Wrestling. I don't know what I'm doing yet. So I don't know who I'm going up against on that one. But Tommy Dean and Stam Stackhouse will be there going for the Core Professional Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Coco and Mr. Nasty, Phoebe, and Danny B will be main eventing that match in a body bag match. That'll be the first ever women's main event. Masculina Purpura versus Franco Varga for the 918 championship.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a really good one. If you haven't caught Masculina Purpura, if you haven't caught him, he is a must-see.
All right.
Then October 22nd, I will be in Republic, Missouri for Show Me Pro Wrestling Next Level. Eugene from the WWE will be headlining that event.
Oh, cool.
I'll be in a tag team match with Justin James, and we'll be taking on Mikey and Mason Cutter. Like I said, I want to beat that stupid mask off of Blade. But UWO in Oklahoma City, the Cranberry Clash in Oklahoma City on November 12th. They've already put out the flyer for Red Dirt Wrestling in Oklahoma City also. But that is a new year, new me. I don't know what I'm doing there yet, but I'm on the flyer. So that's a plus.
Yeah.
I will also be at BPW Body Progression Wrestling in Bristow, Oklahoma, October 16th with BPW. I don't know who I'm going against there. They just told me to show up and get beat up. So I don't know if I'm just going to get punched in the face.
Do you get told that a lot?
Do what?
Do you get told that a lot?
Yeah. Hey, man, you want to get beat up on the 16th? By who? I don't know yet, but I'm pretty sure they can beat you up. Man, like, I need to know who to start beef with. Like, that's the problem. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of starting beef with people. That ain't no joke. But also this weekend is October 7th is at Core Professional Wrestling in Sand Springs, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
UWO has a Patreon subscribers private event. It's not too late to become a Patreon subscriber for them.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Unified Wrestling Oklahoma at Patreon, you can sign up for that. I don't know what I'm doing that night either, but that is this Saturday, I believe.
All right.
And October 8th, 4 p.m. I will be there. They're crowning the first Unified Wrestling Oklahoma Women's Champion. So I honestly don't want to take away from the women. I want that to be there tonight as much as possible to help celebrate them. I'll be there whether or not I'm on the card just to celebrate the women and their milestone. I angered Terry Pantera into telling me that I should come out October 8th after that to Guthrie, Oklahoma, to BCW, Logan County Fairgrounds. I'm not on the card, but there's some big names, Niles Plonke, Miranda Gordy, Sam Stackhouse, Jerry Bostic. There's some big names on that card. I don't even know the card, but that same night after the show at there's one blank. But that show that I got booked on the toilet at, after that show, I angered Terry Pantera, and he's the promoter and booker of BC Bonesaw Championship Wrestling, I think.
Okay.
Buzzsaw Championship Wrestling in Guthrie, Oklahoma. And he said, "You show up, you dumb son of a bitch." I said, "Okay, I'll write it down in my dates." And he just looked at me confused. I was like, "What?" I was like, "You gonna whoop my ass, old man?" I think the joke was going that he was 67 years old. I don't know how old he is.
Yeah.
But he was waving his finger in my face and yelling at me after that show. So I am going to show up and see if he wants to whoop my ass. But I'll be there even if I don't have nothing to do.
Yeah.
But I'm not on the card. I'm not on this card, but I'll probably be in the audience talking at Texoma Pro, October 21st. So, and Stephanie, Candace, I should say, is booked to referee at Texoma Pro in Sherman, Texas, on the 21st. The Haunting at the Lodge.
Okay.
And then the 22nd, like I said, we're in Republic, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're in Muskogee on the 23rd. So for a World Class Revolution, I still got to get the details for that one. But I think that we're like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and like in a different state every day.
Wow. So y'all are going to definitely be busy.
Yeah, definitely busy that weekend. So that's where I'll be at. And if somebody calls me to tell me they want to punch me in the face, I'll be there.
All right. So before I get you off of here, is there anything maybe you want to say to your fans, or maybe say to your haters, or say to anybody before I get you off of here?
Yeah. I will say that normally Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, I'm at Core Professional Wrestling Training. It's $25 a month. I'm there after work. So here's my daily schedule. I wake up at 4. I'm heading to the gym by 4:30, working out by 5, work out an hour, come home, take the kids to school from 6:30 to 8:30, take the kids to school. I'm at work at 9 o'clock, get off at 5:30. I'm back at the gym training, wrestling at 6 to usually about 8:30. But if you want to punch me in the face, I'm not that hard to find. I am in downtown Oklahoma, Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 6th and Utica. Just message me. We can fight. I don't care. I'm not scared of y'all. So if that's what I have to say to the haters, and bring your championship, your replica championship, wearing your Dragon Ball Z shirt, and put your title on the line. That's what I got to tell you.
There you go.
To fans, man, to fans, follow your dreams and work hard, and don't take no for an answer. If somebody tells you no, like, there's somebody out there that'll tell you yes.
Yeah.
And being older and getting into professional wrestling, I got told no quite a bit, and you don't have to take no for an answer. Go out there and say yes. I mean, make them say yes. Not like beat them until they say yes, but
you're gonna say yes.
It's like with your actions,
yeah,
and your words,
yeah.
Be honest. Be whatever morals you have, follow them to a code. I mean, Charles Manson had morals, so there's no telling. Like, whatever your morals are, hold them true to you.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying have Charles Manson's morals either.
No, I didn't think you were.
Yeah. Just get that cleared up.
Yeah.
But man, no, just like you got a podcast, man. When did you start your podcast?
March 11th, that's the day that I recorded my first episode, is March 11th of this year.
Yeah, like, you want to interview people, man. You got out there and you interview people. You want to be a professional wrestler. Hit somebody up in professional wrestling. I mean, I have literally trained. I've trained with Core Professional Wrestling, Unified Wrestling Oklahoma, WFC Wrestling for a Cause, WAH Wrestle Against Hunger. I've gone to Crown Championship Wrestling for a seminar.
Yep.
I've got to wrestle Fuego del Sol.
That's cool.
I got to wrestle Fuego del Sol. Like, yeah, I wasn't ready, and no, I had never seen him hit the tornado DDT. Never seen it happen before in my life. And there was no bell. I was waiting on the bell. He kicked me in the groin and hit me with the tornado DDT. I wasn't ready, but I can still say that I wrestled Fuego del Sol. He cheated, but I wrestled Fuego del Sol. So, so man, like, get out there, follow your dream, whatever your dreams are. You're not too old, you're not too young, you're not too dumb. Because I know some dumb people in wrestling, like dumb, like they are out there licking windows, bro. So you don't have to be that smart to do this. You have to be smart to do this successfully. And I'm not even saying I'm doing this successfully, but show up with just like Jason Jones and Nathan Estrada told me, show up with a suit in your gear, show up early to set up, stay late to tear down. So you never know what's going to happen if you put yourself out there as the hardest worker in the room. Yeah. And here's a successful story. Sam Stackhouse, hardest worker in the room. And I work my ass off to be the hardest worker in the room whenever he's there. Yeah. And it's hard. It's hard to compete with some people. But Leo Fox, oh my God, this is his rookie year too. When he started up, I thought I could keep up with that guy. Yeah. No, I cannot keep up with Leo Fox. And we're the same age. And get out there and do it, dude. I am so happy for everybody who works hard and makes these paths for themselves. But yeah, follow your dream, man. And don't take no for an answer. And don't wait to be in ring shape. Yeah. I hear this so much. People go, I want to be in ring shape. You're full of shit. Like, there is no ring shape. Like, if you've ever been on a boat and you get the seasickness from the boat, that is exactly what's going on in that ring. Like, those boards are flexing that you're running across. You're not going to be in ring shape. There's no amount of cardio that is going to get you ready to run across those boards and take a bump. There's no amount of cardio that you can do to be able to get in the ring, get hit, get up, get hit, get up, get hit, like over and over and over. Right. There's no amount of cardio that you can do to do that unless you're in that ring. So stop fooling yourself and get in a ring and do it. Yeah. Like, stop. I waited 33 years to get in a ring, and I absolutely regret it. But I also don't regret it because I'm a lot smarter than I was when I was 20 years old. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, so, no, I get that.
So, I mean, I'm glad I waited. But, yeah, get out there and do what you want to do. And if it's getting punched in the face, go for it. I love it. Like I said, my schedule, I'm getting punched in the face on the daily. And there's people out there willing to punch you in the face. Trust me. Yeah. And then you get to do some cool stuff after you learn how to get punched in the face. Like, you get to learn how to do the white noise. You get to learn how to do the deep six. You get to learn how to hurricane rana people, even though I may never use that move in my life, but I've learned how to do it.
Yeah, well, learn it all, right?
Learn it all, man. Watch it all, learn it all.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it has been awesome having you on the show. I have thoroughly enjoyed talking to you.
Oh, I'm glad. And if you see me next time and you punch me in the face, go for it. Like, that's like, Jared, you're a good guy, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to say some later after I get unbanned from Facebook on October 12th. So if you're listening and you want me and you're sending me a friend request on Facebook, I don't get unbanned till October 12th, and it is currently Monday, October 3rd. I think you said this will drop next week. I don't even know what next week there.
It will be 10th, I believe. Yeah,
Still won't be out of Facebook jail.
You will have 2 more days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still won't be out of Facebook jail, but it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Come along for the ride. I'm no longer going to comment on things since that's what usually gets me banned.
Man, but that's the fun part, isn't it? Is the commenting on stuff. Part. Yeah. All right, man. Well, like I said, I've really enjoyed talking to you, and I'm going to definitely have to have you come back on the show.
Oh, appreciate it. Love to be back.
All right. Well, I will talk to you later, bud.
All right. Goodbye.
All right. Bye-bye.
You are invited to join the ghosts, the banshees, the fairies, and demons run amok. We're all coming to Oktoberpod's Halloween potluck. You'll enjoy this ghastly crew if your blood doesn't end up in the stew. We'll be baking a cake and raising some hell. Beware, for heaven's sake, because we've got ghost stories to tell at Oktoberpod's Halloween potluck. Coming to YouTube on Tuesday, October 11th. Get a special preview by listening to our companion podcast, Oktoberpod AM, wherever you listen to podcasts. Or find all our links at oktoberpodvhs.com. Oktoberpod, retro horror for bold individualists.
Hey everyone, this is Brian Ferguson. If you're listening to this, then I know you are enjoying the Bumps and Thumbs podcast. In order to continue to run the podcast and get guests on the show, we need support from people like you. Please go to anchor.fm/Brian, BRIAN, Ferguson, FERGUSON, 3, and click on the support button. Once you are there, you'll have options to select from to make a monthly contribution. Your support will help us get on wrestling stars that require financial compensation. Again, that's anchor.fm/Brian, BRIAN, Ferguson, FERGUSON, 3, and click on the support button. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support, and enjoy the podcast.
Oh, yeah. My name is Cat's Pajamas, aka Cat's PJs. I'm the host of a show called Creative Podcasts, where we talk all things music, musicians, musicianship, music, influences, music backstories, the origins, where they come from, what do they do, what are they doing now. So if you're into music, if you listen to music, come on over to Creative Podcasts, where all the cool cats are hanging, baby. We'll talk about your favorite artists, your favorite songs, conspiracies to funny things, this, that, finger snaps, hand claps, all genres of music. Eclectic, electric, and nothing like you'd expected. So come on over to Creative Podcasts and tune in, baby. I'll see you there.
All right, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed that episode with Red James. I had a great time talking with him, and I'm sure that you guys enjoyed hearing that as well. He gave me a lot of laughs in that conversation, and I can't wait to bring him back on. So I did get to talk to him a little bit today. Today is Sunday the 9th, so this is after he had the show, and so he ended up facing the Canadian Red Devil at the Core show, and it turned out pretty awesome, I think. So you guys should go and look that up, and just, look into Core Pro Wrestling, look into Red James, follow him on socials. He was a great guy to have on the show, and I think you guys would thoroughly enjoy following him online. So next week I will have with me Charlie Berry. He is a country music singer. He is pretty awesome at what he does. I've listened to quite a few of his songs, and he's really good, and I can't wait to talk with him next week. Like I've told you before, me and my wife both listen to his songs quite a bit, so this one's going to be a real treat. I also have on next week Johnny Cove. He is the Mullet Daddy, and that's going to be a special midweek episode, kind of promoting another show that I'll be at on October 22nd. It's a Crown Championship Wrestling show that will be in Siloam Springs, Arkansas, and they're going to have a mullet contest. So I thought I'd bring on the Mullet Daddy to kind of promote that coming up. The week following that, I have Richard Pierce. He is out of Wrestling for a Cause. He's been making quite a few waves over there, and I can't wait to have him on to see what kind of stuff he can bring to this show. The week following that, I have Countrywide. They are another country group. I guess I would consider them, they're a unique country sound, and I can't wait for you guys to be able to hear some of what they have to bring to the table. It's going to be a great episode as well. If you guys have any comments or questions, or if you want me to ask any of my future guests questions, you can send me an email at giveadatapodcast@gmail.com. Send me something on there. If you guys want to just tell me how you like the show, I would love to hear from you. You can also follow me on the socials. I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have Twitter. Those are the three main ones that I use. I do have other ones as well, but I haven't really gotten into using them as much. I hope to do that in the future. I hope to maybe start using TikTok to do some maybe behind the scenes stuff, or if I have guests in studio, maybe I can start doing some little video snippets and putting it on TikTok as well. If you guys would like that, let me know, and I will try to get that set up, and I'll try to get that started. But if you want to follow me on the socials, you can do so. Facebook is at IYGADAP. It's the acronym for If You Give a Data Podcast, or you can just look up If You Give a Data Podcast. You can also follow me on Instagram, and that's at Give a Data Podcast. And then the Twitter is at DadPodcast11. Any of those places you can follow me to keep up with what's going on with this show. I have recently met some new wrestlers, and I am excited to maybe have them on in the future. I'm excited about a lot of different things that are going on with this show. I have something new that's coming up. I am actually joining a podcast network, and that is the OIW Podcast Network. It's a group of different shows that are very similar to my own, and we're going to try to, help each other out and things like that. And I'm very excited to be a part of that podcast network. You'll be able to find my show on there, as well as all the other places that you can find my show right now, and that's the OIW Podcast Network. Look them up. They're pretty awesome guys. I'm really happy with getting to know them, and they all seem really awesome. So if you are listening to this episode right now, I want you to take a minute and rate it and review it. If you're listening on Spotify, go to the top of the page and it says rate, and I want you to go up there and tell me how you feel about this show, whether you think it's a 5-star rating or a 1-star rating or whatever you want to say it is. Let me know what it is. I would love to hear from you guys. If you're on any of the other stuff, you can review it. If it's on Apple Podcasts, you can go in there and you can give me a star rating and tell me what you think of the show, along with a lot of the other ones as well. I know a lot of my listeners come from Podbean, so I don't want to leave you guys out. I want you guys to go and rate and review. Tell me what you think. Like the episode if you like it. Tell me what you guys think of this stuff. Comment on it. I would love to interact with you guys. So lastly, before I get off of here, I want to thank my sponsors. I want to thank R&L for continued support that they've been giving me. They have been awesome working with me. I thank them for all the support that I get. Also, I have Manscaped, who is doing a promo code for me right now, and that is DadPod20, and you can go to manscaped.com to get 20% off plus free shipping on any purchase. It's not just the big purchases. It's the smaller ones too. You can use it for anything on there. But go to manscaped.com and use the promo code. Once you get to the end where you're going to check out, then I'll say at the bottom, coupon. Put in DADPOD20, and you'll get 20% off, and you'll get free shipping. So, yeah. Will have links to everything in my show notes. If you guys want to follow Red James, if you guys want to maybe start following R&L Designs, or you want to use the promo code, I'll have a link to Manscaped. I will have links to all of these things on my show notes. So, yeah, I am going to bring this show to a close. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye. If you enjoyed our show, come back next week. Come on, guys. You know you want to come back. Might get some laughs.
This podcast is part of the OIW Podcasting Network.